One thing I would like to note here is that the entire staff at each of the medical facilities that I visited is incredibly kind, gentle, compassionate. Everyone from the woman behind the front desk to the health professionals walking down the hall. And here's what I was told. Now I don't know what it's like for other women, other facilities in other states, but I know what I experienced at Piedmont Hospital in Augusta, Georgia, with the breast cancer facility that helped me. I was later told that there's a different code of sorts regarding the disposition and mindset of breast cancer health professionals. And, so my thing is maybe it's because it's the number 2 leading cause of death in women.
Today's episode of Reset to Reinvent podcast is brought to you by the Adams Group Agency, developing final expense leaders.
Hello, and welcome to episode 30 of Reset to Reinvent podcast. I am your host, Helen Blocker Adams. So glad that you have joined us today. I'm so excited about today's episode. But before we get into it, want to make sure that you download, that you like, and that you share this podcast, no matter what podcast platform you are using. We would love for you to share and spread the good news about Reset to Reinvent podcast. And also, if you are on YouTube, then I'd love for you to make a comment and let us know what you think about the episode. Let us know what you think about the previous episodes, and let us know what topics you would like to see in the future. But I do want to let you know the month of October is dedicated to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And of course, if you heard last week's episode, speaking of last week's episode, I do hope that you got a chance to listen to episode 29, where I started to share with you and give you bits and pieces of my breast cancer journey. And I shared with you chapter 1, as a matter of fact, of my book, Unusual Determination, and excited about being able to share some excerpts of chapter 2, as a matter of fact, that we're going to do a little bit later on in today's episode. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk today a little bit about the importance of mammograms, and it's a relatively simple test, but it's so important. I can't reiterate that enough. So I want to talk a little bit about that and what it entails and what it is, and also I want to share with you in a few minutes about and I forgot to mention it last week, and my producer reminded me that I didn't bring this up, but I have a website. It's a resource website that I created after my bout with breast cancer. And I want to share that. I want to share that website link so that you can take a look at it and share it with others who would be interested in lots and lots of information that we gathered, and I think will be very, very useful for you. So what I want to do first is for those of you who are on YouTube, naturally you're going to be able to see me, but I want you to check out this shirt. Yes, this is the shirt that we are going to be wearing at the Miracle Mile Walk, which is coming up Saturday, October the 18th. And this wonderful design, Unusual Determinators, is the name of our team. We've got a team of 32 people, including children, who will be walking. So you can imagine this bright, hot pink color. We've got men, women, children, boys, girls, white, black, and women. And it's just going to be a variety of us. And I'm really, really so excited of how how not only are we looking to raise a minimum of $2,000, that is our goal, and certainly you can help as well. If you want to help, then do me a favor. It's going to be easier because I don't want to give you a whole string of websites and links. But if you just go to Reset to Reinvent at gmail.com, reset to reinvent at gmail.com, and let me know, hey, Helen, send me a link where I can be able to donate, and I will do that. Okay. And that would be so helpful. I would love that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's all going for a good cause, and it will go to a link, and then you'll get a receipt, and it can be used for tax deduction and all that other kind of good stuff. Okay. So how are you feeling today? You feeling good? I hope you are. I am feeling great. Absolutely. And by the way, this design was created by one of our partners with our podcast, one of my dear friends, Keely. She is just amazing. She's got some mad skills when it comes to designing logos. But this is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so every year here in Augusta, and I know there's walks all over the United States. Okay. I'm here in Augusta, and sponsored by Piedmont Hospital, which is the hospital of which I got my surgery and all of my treatment done. And so the October the 18th is the Miracle Mile Walk. That's what it's called. So any of you can go on Google and just pull up Miracle Mile Walk in Augusta, Georgia. And then actually you can go on there and do a search for the name of our team, Unusual Determinators, and you can be able to find us that way too. I just thought about that, and nobody else has that name, Unusual Determinators. And of course, that's a play on the name of my book that I wrote, My Breast Cancer Journey. And of course, you figured that out. But just in case it kind of went over your head, I wanted to let you know that's where that name came from, and we're really excited about being able to play a role. So last year our plan was to participate, and it was going to be my first year in ever forming a team. Okay, I have participated in walks many years ago, but this time I said, you know what, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling healthy, let me form a team. And we came up with the name, came up with the logo. And then last year in October, let's say 2 to 2.5 weeks, maybe three, 2.5 weeks before the walk, Hurricane Helene hit and just destroyed, annihilated all of the city of Augusta and surrounding areas. And needless to say, it made us have to cancel the walk. So I had all of these shirts, you know, and I said, okay, well, we're going to gear up for 2025. And so everybody that agreed last year said, hey, yeah, Helen, we're in, and then got a few more volunteers. So just really excited. I even have some of my insurance business partners that's going to be walking with us. So it's going to be 32 of us participating in the Miracle Mile Walk. And it's Saturday, October the 18th. And certainly if you want to donate, we would love for you to donate. And if you're in the Augusta area and you're hearing this and you'd like to join our team, then hit me up. Absolutely. Now the shirts are gone, but then what you can do is find a shirt that's a t-shirt that's just as bright pink, hot pink as this one is, and just send me an email to reset to reinvent at gmail.com. Reset to reinvent at gmail.com. And we're so excited about that. So that's coming up. And then I do want to let me go ahead and talk about the website that I created. And the idea was, I love to share information. I love to share information. I love to research. I like to dig and be able to provide information that can help somebody. And I don't care if it's dealing with business. I've been in business for myself since 1991. And so it really, whatever the interest is, whatever someone has asked me about. And I remember years ago, and I think I shared with you on one of my episodes my passion for mental health, and we celebrated or recognize, if you will, can't use the word celebrating mental health, but we recognize Mental Health Awareness Month a couple of months ago. And I shared with you an incident that I got involved in terms of helping to raise money when two babies were killed at the hands of their mother, and in broad daylight at a gas station, inside the bathroom in a gas station here in Augusta. And my mind, I was like, what would drive a person to do such a heinous crime? And the whole notion of mental health became just like, oh my gosh, I need to find out everything I can. So I love to research. And so going through this experience with breast cancer and having that diagnosis, and going through the 4 rounds of chemotherapy, going through the 20 rounds of radiation treatment, and everything that it did to my body. Now, one thing, the body is amazing. You guys know that. I mean, God created our bodies cell by cell, joint by joint, all of the things that make a body a body. And I wasn't even going to go there, but here's what I want you to see is that there are some times in that process of the radiation treatments that really, and you'll see if you buy my book. Okay, speaking of my book, you can buy my book. Reach out to me, reset to reinvent at gmail.com. I'll send you an autographed copy of my book. My book is only $10. Okay. But in my book, I think I mentioned last week how I was a little hesitant at first to put some very graphic pictures, very transparent pictures, and I did, because I felt like I needed to be transparent in this whole thing, and that's what I did. Okay, but there were parts of my body that were very much disfigured. Okay, looked horrible, but God has a way of creating our bodies that they regenerate themselves. The old cells are gone and everything. So there's no discoloration, no abnormalities in the way my breast looked from the way it was during the radiation. So I just had to share that because God is he's just amazing. And so, what I thought about in terms of sharing information, a lot of people may not like to go and research, and they may not know where to go, where to start. There's so many resources out there, and there's bad resources and there's good resources. Okay, my doctor's made a point of letting me know, don't go researching on every website on the planet regarding breast cancer, or it's going to freak you out. And they are absolutely right about that. So what I did was compile a whole lot of information. And on this website, the website is, and you're probably like, okay, well, she hurry up already and tell us the name of the website. And it's a resource website that has been around for 2 years now, at least. And it's hopetnbc.info. Hope, HOPE, TNBC, TNBC for triple negative breast cancer.info. Hope tnbc.info. Now, out on this website, and for those of you on YouTube, of course, you can be able to see this. You can pull it up on your phone. As a matter of fact, as you're listening right now, you can pull it up. And here's what I said on my welcome page. It says, "Welcome to Hope. We are delighted that you have joined us. Our sincere desire is to inform, educate, empower, inspire, and exhibit hope to women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer and or are living with it now. This initiative is very personal to me. Our primary purpose is to shed light on one of the most aggressive forms of breast cancer, and that is triple negative breast cancer, and the importance of getting a mammogram." Okay, and I'm going to share some stats, some more information on mammogram, but I wanted to share this website with you. I'm so excited about it. And once again, I was supposed to mention it last week, but here I am sharing it with you now. So it goes on to say that I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer in April of 2021. 2021. And it was caught early because I had my annual mammogram. Later, I was informed that about 10 to 15% of women who have breast cancer are diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer. Only 10 to 15%. Okay, so what I say on this welcome page is join us here regularly for information, inspiration, and a closer look at my personal journey battling breast cancer. And so I've got scripture on there that scrolls down through the bottom of the website. You can sign up for our email list, and it was put together with love. And I have to admit, I really haven't gone into it and put a lot of new information, new content since I originally, but when you go through it, the information is still relevant and very important. So take a look and feel free to get it and share it with others. It's hopetnbc.info. Okay. All right. All right. So excited. So excited. Excited to be alive. Not everybody woke up this morning on this Monday, the 13th of October. Everybody didn't wake up this morning. So if you want a reason to just shine, a reason to just say, you know what, thank you, God, then I highly recommend you do that. Just give him the glory. Give him the glory. Give him the glory. Yes, yes, yes. So let's talk about mammograms for a few minutes. So this particular flyer that I'm going to be reading and sharing from is from the Piedmont Augusta Breast Imaging Center. Piedmont Augusta Breast Health Imaging. Now, I know I have listeners all over the world, all over the United States, but I am confident that wherever you are, you can Google breast cancer, Google breast cancer center in your respective city, and I guarantee you there's going to be a breast health imaging location, because that's where they do the mammograms and the sonograms and the other things that's needed. Okay, so in your respective city, certainly just Google it and you can be able to find that information. Okay, and for those of you who are located outside the state of outside of Augusta, Georgia, I just want to thank you so much for listening and being a part of Reset to Reinvent. We're on episode 30. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, 6 things you should know about a mammogram. The first thing is, what is a mammogram? Okay, what is it? Well, a mammogram is an X-ray of the breast, which is used to find breast changes. It's as simple as that. It's an X-ray. They have to take an X-ray of the breast, which is used to find breast changes. It is the best screening tool we have to find breast cancer early because it causes signs and symptoms. Okay. It actually, what it does, it catches signs and symptoms. You and your healthcare professional will establish a screening schedule. X-rays were first used to examine breast tissue over 100 years ago. X-rays were first used to examine breast tissue over 100 years ago. My goodness. So the X-rays used for mammograms today produce lower energy X-rays, therefore exposing the breast to much less radiation compared to those in the past. So when you think about all the money that's being raised for research, that's what some of the things that they're doing is finding ways to reduce or minimize the after effects of x-rays and the after effects of this horrible disease. Okay, where should you get a mammogram? Here in Augusta, of course, is the Piedmont Augusta Breast Health Imaging. It's a specialized breast health facility accredited by the National Accreditation Program for Breast Cancer. So what I want to say is, wherever you are, there is, I'm sure, I am confident, there's a breast health facility that's accredited so that you can be able to get the care that you need. When should you schedule a mammogram? Screening mammograms should begin at 40 years old. Okay. Now, I have been told by some physicians that if breast cancer is prevalent in your family, if you've got a history of breast cancer in your family, who knows, you may have to start getting mammograms earlier than 40 years old. But go to your primary doctor, go to a physician and get that for sure. Okay. But I'm reading from a document here from the Piedmont Augusta Breast Health Imaging, and it says that screening mammogram should begin at 40 years old. It is best to schedule your mammogram approximately 1 week after your menstrual period. Okay, your breasts will not, and why? Because your breasts will not be as tender or swollen. Okay, this will mean you will have less discomfort during the mammogram. Okay, and for those of you who've had a mammogram, there's a bit of discomfort. Okay, at any time though, if you notice breast changes, contact your primary care physician. Those breast changes can include feeling a lump, nipple discharge, nipple inversion, or skin dimpling. Any of those things, if you should know your body. Okay, you should know your body, and so that's really, really important. Okay, what should you wear when you go to a mammogram? You're going to be asked to remove your clothing from your waist up only. Okay, wearing a two-piece outfit is best. Do not apply, and you'll get all of these instructions when you do have to have a mammogram. But just wanted to give you a little sneak peek, just in case there's somebody who's never had a mammogram before. I don't want you to think it's so scary. All right. Do not apply deodorant, powder, lotion, perfume, or ointment on or around the chest on the day of your mammogram. Okay. Because what will happen, the spots from those will show up in the x-ray, which will mean it will show something that's not supposed to be there, which can create a little bit more anxiety. So go ahead and go completely bare when it comes to that. So that way they're getting genuine, authentic x-ray of your breast without any extras on there. Okay, y'all feel me? All right. What should you expect? This is point number 6. The procedure takes approximately 20 minutes or so. Okay. The breast is compressed between two plastic plates for a brief time while an x-ray is taken. Okay. That's where the little pinching, it does hurt. Okay. I am not going to let you know that it doesn't hurt. It does hurt, but it's only for a few seconds. Okay. It's only for a few seconds. All right. All right. The breast is repositioned and compressed again to take another view. So they need to see different angles, every angle that they possibly can. So they may have to move you around. And then what they're going to do, they're going to repeat it so that the same thing will be done to the other breast. Okay. So that's what is a mammogram is and what it entails. And so folks, I can't say it enough that breast cancer is real. We all know that. It is the number 2 cause of death for women, breast cancer. Okay. And getting a mammogram is the simplest, easiest way to take a look to see what's there, what's not there. And some people say, oh, well, I don't want to know. Yes, you do want to know. Because I do know that in the year 2020, that was at the height of COVID-19. And all screenings were canceled at that. But I got a letter, saying, hey, look, due to COVID, we're get on the schedule for next year. Okay. This was in 2020. 2019, 2018, 2016, all the previous years, because I've been getting a mammogram around the same time in the month of April, right before my birthday, for years. Okay. The year 2020, I did not. Not because I didn't want to, but that's what we were informed. So in 2021, when I went back, the mammogram revealed something. Now, here's the thing. What if I didn't go in 2021? My doctor told me that if I didn't go and get a mammogram in 2021, because I had missed 2020 because of COVID, not my fault. Okay. Then he said, because when I was diagnosed, it was stage 1, and the tumor was very small. It was the size of a pea. But he said that because triple negative breast cancer, quicker than most other forms of breast cancer, that if I had waited to the next year, it would have been a completely different situation. Okay. So thank God. Thank God for 2021. Thank God for mammograms. And so for you and you and you, yes, go there and let's get a mammogram. Okay. So here's what I want to do in this last portion of today's episode is I want to share some excerpts, just a little bit from chapter 2 of my book, Unusual Determination, Helen's breast cancer journey to victory. Because we got the victory. All right. And we've got to claim the victory before we get the victory. Can I get an amen? So chapter 2, the title of my chapter in chapter 2 is My Lifestyle by Appointment. My Lifestyle by Appointment. And I'm just going to share a little from chapter 2. You got to buy my book so you can get all the goodies. I'm just going to share just a little bit, sharing my story during this month of October, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So a plethora of consultations, meetings, and appointments became my full agenda. Basically a full-time job over the next couple of months. Even though strides have been made in breast cancer research and deaths have declined over time, breast cancer remains the number 2 cause of death for women. That realization always stays at the forefront of my mind, but I never ever thought that I would die. It never occurred to me. Yet I do know and I am aware of many women who have died from breast cancer. If a flicker of concern comes to mind, my mom wouldn't have it. She never entertains the notion, nor does she give me time to consider dark thoughts. My mom is with me the entire journey. She always says, we are in this together. She is at all my appointments, consultations, meetings, and then later, every treatment that I receive. So on Monday, April 12th, at 1:30 p.m., we meet with Dr. Puglier, my surgeon oncologist. He's the same one that I talked about in chapter 1 that made the phone call, okay, that let me know that, yes, indeed, you do have a diagnosis, okay? So we met with him for the first of many appointments. He is simply amazing, animated and knowledgeable. He took his time and drew pictures to help explain to us what was going on in my body and all he has to do that's going to go on with the treatment. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, Dr. Puglier is instrumental in helping me through this journey, emotionally and physically. Okay. His positive nature is contagious. He explains every detail of what is going on in my body to me and my mom. We discuss options which are limited. He let me know they are very limited with a diagnosis of triple negative breast cancer. Okay. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, triple negative breast cancer is a kind of breast cancer that does not have any of the receptors commonly found in breast cancer. So here's what Dr. Puglier explains to me. He says, think of cancer cells as a house. The front door may have 3 kinds of locks called receptors. One is for the female hormone estrogen. One is for the female hormone progesterone, and one is for a protein called human epidermal growth factor. And then the parentheses is HER, H-E-R number 2. If the breast cancer has any of these 3 locks, doctors have few keys like hormone therapy or other drugs that can be used to help destroy the cancer cells. So if the diagnosis is triple negative breast cancer for the 3 locks don't exist. The 3 locks don't exist. So if you don't have locks, then you don't have a key to be able to get in the lock. There lies the problem and the concern in terms of the level and the amount of treatment that's available for people who have triple negative breast cancer. So consequently, doctors have fewer keys for treatment. Fortunately, chemotherapy is still an effective option. Okay, now it is by far, to me, the most grueling. Okay, I'll just leave that there. You'll get more throughout the next couple of weeks from my book. One thing that I would like to say here, and I'm still reading from my book in chapter 2, just an excerpt, and I'm almost done with this part of my book. One thing I would like to note here is that the entire staff at each of the medical facilities that I visited are incredibly kind, gentle, compassionate. Everyone from the woman behind the front desk to the health professionals walking down the hall. And here's what I was told. Now, I don't know what it's like for other women, other facilities in other states, but I know what I experienced at Piedmont Hospital in Augusta, Georgia, with the breast cancer facility that helped me. I was later told that there's a different code of sorts regarding the disposition and mindset of breast cancer health professionals. And, so my thing is, maybe it's because it's the number 2 leading cause of death in women. So there was no sense of forlornness or doom and gloom. Absolutely none. Okay. No mention of the possibility of dying. everyone I encountered at each of the facilities that I had to participate in and go to for treatment and all of that was always optimistic. And I mean everyone. And so that concludes my sharing excerpts, chapter 2 in my book, Unusual Determination. There is hope. And that's what my resource website is all about, hopetnbc.info. I'm really excited about this Miracle Mile walk that's coming up this Saturday, October the 18th. Looking forward to this team of 32 individuals, including children, to be walking with these wonderful shirts and recognizing and honoring women who have either passed away from breast cancer or survivors like myself. And you know what? If you're a breast cancer survivor, I would love to hear from you. I would love to be able to share your name in next week's episode. How about doing that? And even if you are not a breast cancer survivor, how about you share with me their name and your association with it? Is it aunt, your mom, your grandma, your sister, your friend, whoever it is? Send me their name. resettoreinvent@gmail.com. resettoreinvent@gmail.com. I would love to be able to bless them by sharing their name on next week's episode. Okay? Yeah, honoring the lives of those who have passed away because due to breast cancer. I want to be able to dedicate a segment of next week's episode to do that. Okay? Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, I think so too. Okay, awesome. Well, I tell you what, I want to thank you so much for being a part of today's episode of Reset to Reinvent Reset to Reinvent podcast. I'm just so overwhelmed with what we're doing and the impact we want to make, and we want to encourage people. We want to give you hope. We want to let you know there is hope, and yes, it is a journey. There's just no doubt about it, and that's what my book is all about. And definitely, if you want to order my book, go to resettoreinvent@gmail.com. Let me know, hey, you want to order X number of books. I will personally autograph them for you and get them in the mail to you and make that happen. Okay, so let me know. Once again, I want to thank you so much for being a part of today's episode. Yes, mammograms, meetings, and mindset. Unusual Determination, episode 30. Thank you. You guys are amazing. Why? Yeah. Reset to Reinvent, because you were born to be inspired. It's October, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Yes, pink is in the air, folks. This month magnifies the important message for women to get a mammogram. Early detection saved my life. I am convinced God kept me here to encourage and bless women who have been diagnosed and are pressing through. My journey is in my book, Unusual Determination. I promise it will bless you. Order your autograph copy today. Email me at resettoreinvent@gmail.com. That's resettoreinvent@gmail.com. Or DM me on any of my social media platforms to order your autograph copy of Unusual Determination.